NarendraTheComic here, and today I'd like to just throw this out there, put my hat in the ring for something which might be controversial to some, but on the concept of what does diversity actually mean, okay? Because when most people talk about it, they're saying, oh, diversity of race. And that's fine, because that is definitely one aspect of diversity. But then you also have diversity of culture, diversity of religion, diversity of thought, and all these things come into what makes you you. You're not just one thing, you're many things, you're all the experiences that your life has thrown at you, and you've come out the other side as this weird ball of, oh, this is who I am. I am Narendra in my case, or you are Jeff, whatever it might be. But this idea of diversity, especially in Hollywood, is just very, very binary, it seems. Like, either you're the right color or you're not. Either you have the right thinking or you don't. And I don't think that is healthy in general, because it just causes more galesh. In Hindi, that means fighting. It just causes more problems by compartmentalizing people like that. And I don't think it's particularly helpful. But on the idea of what diversity means in Hollywood, I just had a thought about the whole new rules they instilled at the Oscars about films needing to be particularly diverse or have a minimum requirement of people behind and in front of the camera being of, you know, multiple ethnicities, which was the line, I think. And that's fine if that's what you want to try and push. Fine. I've got some problems, but not a lot of problems with that. Do what you need to do. If that's what you want to do, if those are the requirements you want to make, then make them. But by the same degree, and with the same hand, you have to say, how is Black Panther a particularly diverse movie if 93% of the cast or 95% of the main characters are African American or African? Is that diverse in terms of ethnicity? Is it? I don't know. Maybe you get away with it because it's a fictional fantasy world, and that's what the MCU is, so maybe you can, but I think you probably have to administer the rules in the same way, and I'm not sure how Black Panther or Crazy Rich Asians, which was absolutely adored as a success for diversity in movies, how that can also be deemed as diverse when everyone is Chinese in that movie practically. Maybe there's Ken Jeong who was Korean, but even then there was a whole shenanigans with Jamie Chung not being able to audition for the movie because she was Korean, and they said, no, we're only looking for Chinese people, Singaporean Chinese, and then Ken Jeong's just in the movie. She's sitting there like, wait, what did I miss here? Because I could have auditioned for this movie then. So I'm very confused as to what diversity in Hollywood truly means. Even when you look at other things like Parasite, this is probably the best example. With these new rules, would Parasite be able to be nominated for Best Picture? I don't know, because everyone in that movie is South Korean, even though all three of these movies are good movies. Black Panther, Crazy Rich Asians, and Parasite, all good movies. Parasite definitely the best among them. And it made you think about, oh, walking back into your house, you looked around and said, I guess I don't have it that bad, even if, in our case, we don't have a kitchen. But I do feel that that movie wouldn't really be up to standard if those same rules applied, because it's not diverse at all. It's everyone of the same race in that movie. Then you get into weird situations, though, because if that movie is allowed to be nominated, then what if one year there's a Austrian movie or a French movie that is predominantly or practically a full white cast, European cast? In that case, would that movie, even if everyone said this is the best movie of the year, everyone across the world, through Europe, through Asia, through America, they all said this is the best film, the best made movie, and the director should be nominated for Best Director as well. Should that movie, or would that movie, be able to be nominated because everyone in the cast is European? I would think not, because of the way they apply the rules. But if they would apply the rules evenly, and Parasite in this case wouldn't be able to be nominated for Best Film, then essentially what Hollywood has done, what the Oscars have done, is gatekeeped. They have gatekeeped the future of movies in America by saying that if you don't come from a Western society in this case, that you can't be nominated for Best Picture because it's very unlikely you're going to have a mixed cast or a diverse cast in terms of racial breakdown in front of the camera or even with the crew behind the set. It seems like you'd be in a bit of a conundrum there because no film from outside America, Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and maybe France would ever be able to be nominated, I would think, for Best Picture, for Best Film, for Best Director, if these rules stand. It just would be impossible because you're not going to have the amount of people necessary in those movies, in those productions, in countries like India, Korea, Japan, China, wherever it might be, Nigeria. There are films that are made in all different types of markets. And essentially what Hollywood's done by instilling this rule, if they apply it evenly, is chuck out all non-Western movies. They just can't win. They can't be nominated. But if you don't apply the rule evenly, then you have a situation of certain people being given certain privileges and equality not really being the outcome. You want equality, right? I want equality. Equality for all. Everyone should have equal opportunity. I'm not here to debate that. That's just a fact. If you disagree with that, I mean, you have serious, serious problems. But, it seems like if Hollywood apply the rule evenly, then foreign films are basically thrown by the wayside. And if they don't apply the rule evenly and say African or Asian or Latin American movies get exemptions, but European movies don't, then you're in a whole other set of problems. So, I don't know what the fix is. All I know is I'm seeing a problem and maybe they haven't seen the problem or maybe they know that they didn't like Parasite winning. They didn't like it and they said, you know what? We need to fix this. And either way, it looks bad.